Imagine for a moment that you stand at a crossroads, faced with two strangers. One holds the map to your future, the other a dagger hidden behind their smile. How will you decide who to trust? The wrong choice could lead to a path of heartbreak, betrayal, and disillusionment. The right choice, however, could open doors to loyalty, understanding, and true connection. It's a decision we all face, not just in dramatic moments, but in the quiet, daily interactions that shape the course of our lives. Yet how many of us can confidently say we know how to discern the true nature of another soul? The truth is, appearances lie. Words deceive. Even actions on occasion can be calculated performances designed to mask deeper truths. But character never hides for long. It leaves clues, whispers in the way a person treats a stranger, in how they respond to adversity, and in the values they hold when no one is watching. If you could master the art of seeing these signs, how might your life change? Who would you welcome into your circle, and who would you let drift away? Think back to a time when you felt betrayed. Did the signs exist, faint but present, long before the fall? Perhaps you sensed something, a moment of disregard, a flicker of inconsistency, but brushed it aside, thinking it was too small to matter. Or perhaps you were blinded by charm, distracted by charisma, and ignored the still, small voice warning you of what was to come. In hindsight, the signs were likely there, weren't they? The moments of truth that revealed the character you couldn't or wouldn't see. Now, pause and consider this. How many people in your life truly know you? Not the version you present at work or in casual conversations, but the essence of who you are when the masks come off. And in turn, how many do you truly know? Beyond the pleasantries and posturing, who among your friends, colleagues, and even family members has shown you their unguarded self? Character is not revealed in the grand speeches or the moments when the spotlight shines. It is laid bare in the unguarded flickers of everyday life, how one treats the waiter after a meal, the way they respond to a friend's success, or the silence that follows an opportunity to gossip. It is these moments, not the grand gestures, that speak louder than words ever could. As you hear this, you might wonder, is it even possible to truly know someone? To see past the facades and into the core of their being? The answer is yes. But it requires a watchful eye, a discerning heart, and a willingness to pay attention to the seemingly insignificant. The signs are always there, waiting to be seen. What if I told you that there are 5 unmistakable markers of true character? That by observing these signs you could unlock the ability to discern not just the nature of others, but perhaps even your own. These signs are not tricks or superficial tests. They are rooted in the very essence of what it means to be human. To see them is not only to understand others, but to gain clarity about the world and your place within it. So, let us begin this journey of discovery together. Keep your mind sharp, your heart open, and your instincts ready, for in the next moments, you will learn not just how to see someone's character, but how to protect your heart, strengthen your relationships, and walk with confidence in a world where authenticity is rare and precious. The path forward requires courage, not just to observe others, but to reflect upon ourselves. Are we prepared to confront what these signs might reveal? Are we willing to use this knowledge, not as a weapon to judge, but as a lens to see the truth and act wisely? If you are ready, let us move forward, and I will show you how to see clearly what so many overlook. The first sign, the one that reveals more than words ever could, awaits. Let us unveil it together. Character is often whispered in the quiet interactions that seem insignificant to the untrained eye. The way a person treats those who hold no power over them, those who cannot offer them status, wealth, or opportunity, is one of the clearest windows into their soul. It's not in grand gestures or carefully rehearsed acts of kindness meant for public applause. No, the truth of a person's nature reveals itself in how they behave when there is no audience, no recognition, and no reward. Picture this: you're sitting in a bustling restaurant. At one table, a man dressed in an expensive suit is ordering his meal, but his tone is sharp and dismissive. His words cut through the air as he speaks to the server, as if they were invisible, as if they existed solely to serve him. Across the room, a different scene unfolds. Another diner, perhaps less outwardly impressive, smiles warmly as they hand their menu back to the same server. They offer a word of gratitude, a small acknowledgement of humanity in an otherwise routine interaction. Who do you think carries greater strength of character? The way we treat people who have no leverage over us reflects not just who we are, but what we value. A kind heart doesn't reserve compassion for moments when it's advantageous. It doesn't wait to calculate the benefits of generosity. It simply flows unprovoked and unguarded, like a river carving its way through the wilderness. If you want to truly see who someone is, watch them in these moments. Pay attention to the subtleties, how they greet the receptionist, how they respond to a person asking for directions, or how they act when a stranger inconveniences them. In a world obsessed with power and appearances, it's easy to overlook the significance of these encounters. Yet, they hold the keys to understanding a person's essence. Imagine someone standing before a person in need, not necessarily a beggar on the street, but perhaps a colleague struggling with a task, or a friend in emotional distress. Do they step forward with patience, with empathy, with a willingness to help without expectation of return? Or do they step away, finding excuses, brushing off the moment as if it didn't matter? There's a deeper truth here, one that resonates in every culture and belief system. The smallest actions often reveal the greatest truths. Think about the stories that inspire us: the teacher who nurtures a struggling student, the stranger who offers kindness to someone down on their luck, or the leader who listens intently to the concerns of the lowest-ranking team member. These moments don't make headlines, but they're the quiet acts that ripple outward, touching lives and leaving a legacy far greater than any public achievement. Now, consider the opposite. When someone dismisses the value of another human being, what does that say about them? The person who yells at the waiter, ignores the janitor, or scoffs at the elderly crossing the street is not just displaying rudeness, they're revealing a deep void where empathy should reside. Their actions are a reflection of how they see the world, divided into hierarchies, where some are deemed worthy of respect while others are not. But let's go deeper still. How someone treats those who can do nothing for them isn't just about kindness or cruelty. It's about perspective. A person who honors everyone they encounter sees life through a lens of abundance. They understand that worth isn't dictated by what someone can provide, but by the inherent dignity of being human. On the other hand, those who disregard others often live in a mindset of scarcity, always measuring people against what they can gain or lose. Pay attention to this sign. It won't shout or announce itself. It's in the fleeting moments, in the mundane exchanges, where you'll see it most clearly. Watch how they speak to the cashier when they're in a rush. Notice if they hold the door for someone struggling with bags. Observe their body language when someone less fortunate crosses their path. These moments are where the mask slips, where the truth peeks out, unfiltered and undeniable. What makes this sign so compelling is its universality. Everyone encounters situations where they must decide, in an instant, how to treat another human being who holds no sway over their life. It is in these moments, stripped of pretense, that character stands exposed. Adversity is the great equalizer. It strips away pretense, challenges the strongest facades, and reveals the unvarnished truth of who we are. If you truly want to see someone's character, don't just observe how they celebrate victories, watch how they respond when life doesn't go their way. It's in the midst of failure, heartbreak, and struggle that the core of a person's being is laid bare. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, the ground beneath your feet suddenly giving way. There's no time to prepare, no safety net in sight. How do you react in that instant? Do you panic and give in to despair, or do you search for a way to climb back up? Adversity is much the same. It's a sudden fall that forces us to confront our deepest fears and insecurities. In these moments, a person's character is not just revealed, it is tested, refined, and ultimately shaped. Failure has a way of amplifying what already resides within us. A person with humility and resilience will face setbacks with a sense of introspection, asking, "What can I learn from this?" They see failure not as the end but as a stepping stone, a harsh teacher whose lessons will make them stronger. They adapt, they adjust, and they rise again, often with more determination than before. This is the kind of person who inspires others, not because they are immune to failure, but because they embrace it as a part of their journey. Now think of the opposite. There are those who crumble under adversity, allowing bitterness, anger, or blame to consume them. Instead of introspection, they turn outward, pointing fingers at circumstances or other people. "It wasn't my fault," they might say, or "the world is against me." In these reactions you see a fragile ego, one that cannot bear the weight of failure. Such a response doesn't just show a lack of resilience, it reveals a person's unwillingness to grow, to take responsibility, and to face the truth of their own imperfections. Adversity also reveals a person's integrity. When the pressure mounts and the stakes are high, will they hold on to their values, or will they compromise to escape discomfort? Consider the employee who, under the strain of a looming deadline, cuts corners or blames teammates instead of seeking a solution. Contrast that with the leader who, faced with the same challenge, remains calm, takes accountability, and works diligently to solve the problem. It's in these moments that you see the difference between someone who merely performs under ideal conditions and someone whose character stands firm, no matter the circumstances. Failure also tests a person's ability to persevere. Some see adversity as an insurmountable wall, while others view it as a puzzle waiting to be solved. Imagine two individuals facing the same setback, a failed business venture, for instance. One retreats into self-pity, mourning what was lost and refusing to try again. The other rolls up their sleeves, examines what went wrong, and begins building again, brick by brick. Which one do you think carries the deeper strength of character? Adversity doesn't just reveal how someone handles external challenges, it also uncovers their internal dialogue. Pay attention to the words they speak in moments of struggle. Do they lean on hope, courage, and faith, or do they give in to despair, self-doubt, and defeat? A person's reaction to failure often mirrors how they view themselves. Those with a strong sense of self-worth will acknowledge the setback, but refuse to let it define them. Those with fragile confidence may see failure as a reflection of their inadequacy, spiraling into negativity that often spreads to those around them. On the other hand, those who lose themselves in power often forget this perspective. They view authority as something they own, not something they've been entrusted with. Their decisions become self-serving, their interactions transactional. Over time, this mindset isolates them, creating a chasm between them and those they lead. They may hold on to their position for a time, but true respect and loyalty will always elude them. What makes this sign so compelling is its universal relevance. Everyone at some point will find themselves in a position of power, whether as a parent, a mentor, or a leader in their field. And in those moments, the choices they make will not only define their character but also shape the lives of those around them. This is why observing how someone handles authority is so crucial. It doesn't just reveal who they are, it predicts the kind of legacy they will leave behind. In the end, power is not inherently good or evil, it is neutral, a tool that takes on the character of the one who wields it. And so, when you watch someone in a position of authority, look beyond their words and titles. Watch their actions, listen to their tone, and observe their priorities. Do they build or destroy? Inspire or intimidate? Empower or control? The answers to these questions will tell you everything you need to know. Promises. They are the threads that weave trust into relationships, the foundation upon which respect and reliability are built. A promise is not merely a casual agreement, it is a declaration, a commitment, a reflection of one's values and integrity. To truly know someone, observe not just the promises they make, but the ones they keep, especially when no one is watching. A person's ability to honor their word speaks volumes about their character. It is not just about doing what they said they would, it is about the principles that drive them to follow through, even when it's inconvenient, difficult, or seemingly insignificant. The promises they keep reveal their respect for others, their discipline, and their understanding that trust is earned, not given. Imagine a small, seemingly inconsequential promise, a commitment to meet at a specific time, to return a call, or to deliver on a minor task. Many might think these moments are trivial, easy to dismiss or overlook. But they are not. These small promises are the building blocks of trust. They are the quiet declarations that say, "I value you. I respect your time, your feelings, and your expectations." When someone consistently honors these small commitments, it is a testament to their reliability and attention to the needs of others. Now think about the larger promises, the ones that test a person's integrity when the stakes are high. Perhaps they've promised to stand by a friend in times of trouble, to remain honest in the face of temptation, or to fulfill a long-term obligation despite mounting challenges. It is in these moments that their true character comes into sharp focus. Do they stay the course, upholding their commitment with unwavering resolve? Or do they falter, finding excuses to abandon their word when it becomes inconvenient or uncomfortable? What makes this sign so powerful is that it is not just about the act of keeping a promise, it is about what it reveals. A person who honors their commitments, no matter the size, demonstrates discipline, accountability, and a deep sense of responsibility. They understand that a promise is not just a transaction, it is a reflection of their integrity. Their word is their bond, and they treat it as sacred, knowing that breaking it would mean breaking trust, a bond far more difficult to repair than it is to create. But keeping promises is not always easy, and that is what makes this sign so telling. Life has a way of throwing obstacles in the path of commitment, unexpected challenges, distractions, and temptations to take the easy way out. It is in these moments, when the effort to honor a promise requires sacrifice, that true character is revealed. A person of integrity will push through, not because it's convenient, but because they value their word and the trust it builds. Their actions declare, "I am who I say I am." On the other hand, when someone consistently breaks promises, it signals more than just a lapse in judgment, it reveals a lack of accountability. It shows a disregard for the impact their actions have on others and a tendency to prioritize their own convenience over the commitments they've made. Broken promises leave scars, not just on relationships but on reputations. They erode trust, creating a ripple effect that can take years to repair, if it can be repaired at all. Keeping promises also reflects how someone values themselves. A person who keeps their word, even when it's challenging, demonstrates self-respect. They understand that their actions define them, not just in the eyes of others, but in their own self-perception. They hold themselves to a standard that says, "I am reliable, I am trustworthy, I am consistent." This internal consistency becomes a source of strength, allowing them to build meaningful relationships and live a life of integrity. Lastly, this sign goes beyond relationships with others. It also speaks to a person's relationship with themselves. Think about the promises people make to themselves to pursue a goal, to break a bad habit, to live with intention. A person's ability to keep these personal promises reveals their discipline, determination, and self-mastery. It shows whether they are truly committed to their own growth, or if they are content with empty declarations that fade with time. In the end, a promise kept is far more than an action. It is a reflection of character, a signal of integrity, and a declaration of values. When you seek to understand someone's true nature, watch closely how they handle their commitments. Do they follow through even when it's hard? Do they respect the trust placed in them? Do they treat their word as a reflection of their worth? The answers to these questions will tell you more about their heart, their priorities, and their character than anything else ever could. As we journey through life, the ability to discern someone's true character is one of the most valuable skills we can develop. It's not about judging others, but about protecting our hearts, fostering meaningful relationships, and aligning ourselves with people whose values resonate with our own. True character is not hidden, it leaves traces in the way a person treats those without power, reacts to failure, speaks about others, handles authority, and honors their promises. Each of these signs reveals a deeper truth, not just about others but also about ourselves. By observing these patterns in others, we gain clarity about who we allow into our lives. And by holding ourselves to the same standard, we become the kind of people others can trust, respect, and admire. Remember, the goal is not perfection, but authenticity, building a life rooted in integrity, kindness, and unwavering principles. In a world where appearances often take center stage, the ability to see true character is a gift that protects you, empowers you, and connects you with the right people. Let these signs be your guide, your compass as you navigate relationships and decisions. Pay attention to the quiet moments, the subtle behaviors, and the choices people make when they think no one is watching. For it is in these moments that the truth is revealed. Thank you for taking the time to explore this journey with me. My hope is that you walk away not just with the ability to understand others more deeply, but with the motivation to refine your own character. Be the person who inspires trust, earns respect, and lights the way for others. And always remember, true character is not what you say, it's what you live. Now, go forth with courage and clarity, and let the truth guide you. Thank you and take care. Another layer of this sign is how someone treats others in the midst of their own hardship. When the weight of failure bears down, does a person lash out, taking their frustration out on those around them? Or do they maintain grace, kindness, and respect, even in their pain? It's easy to be kind when life is going well. The real test is whether someone can extend that kindness when their own world feels like it's falling apart. Adversity doesn't just test individuals, it shapes relationships. A friend or partner's reaction to their own failures can directly affect the dynamic between you. A resilient person will seek support without losing their sense of responsibility. An insecure person may project their struggles onto you, creating a toxic cycle that's difficult to break. Recognizing these patterns early can save you from investing in relationships that drain rather than nurture you. The beauty of adversity lies in its dual nature. It is both a mirror and a forge. It reflects who we are in the moment and shapes who we have the potential to become. By observing someone's reaction to failure, you gain insight not just into their current character, but into the direction of their growth. Do they emerge stronger, wiser, and more determined, or do they remain stuck, repeating the same patterns of avoidance and denial? The answer to that question tells you more about a person than years of casual acquaintance ever could. Failure may be universal, but the way we respond to it is uniquely personal, and it reveals the essence of who we are. The words a person chooses to speak about others, especially in their absence, are more than mere conversation. They are a reflection of their inner world. Speech is not just a tool for communication, it is an instrument that reveals values, intentions, and even insecurities. When someone discusses others, their tone, content, and motives expose facets of their character that are often concealed in direct interactions. Pay close attention to this sign, for it operates in subtle, almost imperceptible ways. Gossip, for instance, is a tempting indulgence that many succumb to, believing it to be harmless or even bonding. Yet, gossip does something insidious. It diminishes the subject while elevating the speaker, or so they believe. When someone habitually speaks ill of others behind their backs, it signals something far deeper than momentary judgment. It reveals a tendency to undermine, to criticize without accountability, and perhaps to project their own insecurities outward rather than confront them inwardly. On the other hand, consider the rarity of words spoken with kindness and integrity when the subject isn't there to hear them. This is not a mere act of politeness, it is a deliberate choice, a discipline of character that reflects respect, fairness, and a sense of justice. To speak well of someone when there is no immediate benefit to doing so is a mark of authenticity. It is an indication that the speaker values truth and integrity over temporary approval or the fleeting satisfaction of shared disdain. The way someone speaks about others also reveals their level of emotional maturity. A person who constantly criticizes, ridicules, or belittles others often harbors unresolved conflicts within themselves. Their harsh words act as a mirror, reflecting not the flaws of those they discuss, but their own struggles with insecurity, envy, or discontent. Contrast this with someone who seeks to uplift, who chooses words that inspire understanding and empathy. Such individuals are at peace with themselves, and their speech becomes an extension of that inner harmony. This sign also uncovers how someone views relationships. A person who engages in harmful speech about others often sees relationships as transactional. They may use words to manipulate perceptions, control narratives, or elevate their position in social dynamics. Conversely, someone who chooses to refrain from speaking ill or who defends others even in their absence sees relationships as sacred connections, rooted in trust and mutual respect. Their words are chosen with care, not for personal gain, but to preserve dignity and build bridges rather than burn them. The way someone speaks about others when they are not present sheds light on their sense of accountability. Those who are quick to judge or mock others in private often lack the courage to address issues directly. They prefer the safety of whispered critiques to the vulnerability of honest conversation. This avoidance reveals a lack of transparency, a reluctance to confront challenges openly. In contrast, someone who refrains from backbiting demonstrates a commitment to fairness and a willingness to engage honestly with others, even when it's uncomfortable. Speech also reveals priorities. A person who constantly dwells on the shortcomings of others is often distracted from their own growth. Their energy is spent outwardly, dissecting the lives of others, rather than inwardly, refining their own. This not only limits their potential, but also creates a toxic environment for those around them. On the other hand, someone who speaks with purpose and care demonstrates focus and clarity. They understand that their words carry weight, shaping not just perceptions of others, but the atmosphere they inhabit. Lastly, how someone speaks about others in their absence speaks to their capacity for trustworthiness. Words are a form of currency, exchanged to build or erode trust. A person who betrays the confidence of another, even in subtle ways, signals their unreliability. If they speak ill of someone else to you, consider what they might say about you to others. Conversely, someone who guards the reputation of others, even when given the chance to harm it, proves their loyalty and dependability. This sign, then, is not just about the words themselves, but the spirit in which they are spoken. Words are an extension of the soul, and when directed toward others, especially in their absence, they become a reflection of what lies within. Power is one of life's greatest tests. It has the unique ability to amplify what already resides within a person, magnifying their virtues or exposing their flaws. When someone is granted authority, whether over a team, a household, or even a single decision, their character no longer hides in the shadows. Power acts as a spotlight, revealing their true nature for all to see. Pay attention to how someone handles even the smallest taste of authority. For some, power becomes a tool of service. For others, it becomes a weapon of control. This distinction is not trivial, it is profound. A person who wields power responsibly, who uses it to uplift and support those under their care, demonstrates humility and wisdom. They understand that leadership is not about being served, but about serving others. In their hands, power becomes a force for good, a means to create growth, inspire loyalty, and foster trust. Contrast this with those who let authority corrupt them. Such individuals are quick to remind others of their position, eager to demand obedience rather than earn respect. They see power not as a responsibility but as a privilege, a way to elevate themselves above others. Their actions often reveal a deeper insecurity, a need to assert dominance to mask their own vulnerabilities. They confuse fear with respect and control with leadership, creating an environment where trust erodes and resentment grows. This is where the essence of character becomes evident. A person's response to power tells you whether they see themselves as part of something greater or as the center of it. True leaders view their authority as a responsibility, not a right. They use their influence to build bridges, not walls. They listen more than they speak, seeking to understand the needs of those they lead. Their decisions are guided by integrity, not ego, and they are willing to make sacrifices for the benefit of others. But power also reveals the subtleties of character. It's not just about how someone treats those they lead, it's also about how they handle challenges to their authority. Do they welcome feedback, even when it's critical? Do they have the strength to admit when they're wrong? Or do they cling to their decisions out of pride? These moments of vulnerability are telling. They show whether a person's power is rooted in genuine confidence or fragile arrogance. There is also an undeniable connection between power and empathy. The most impactful leaders are those who never forget what it feels like to be on the other side of authority. They remember the struggles, the frustrations, and the hopes of those they now lead. This memory keeps them grounded, reminding them that power is not permanent. It is a stewardship, a role that demands compassion, understanding, and a willingness to put others before oneself.